Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol and welcome my mate Paul to the channel. We are in Paul's quite frankly ridiculous Lotus Exige. It's quite quick, isn't it?
It's very quick. It's the fastest manual car I've ever been in.
What's this? Yes, this might look like just a normal Lotus Exige, but it is far from that. So this is a Lotus Exige 430 Cup, but it's a very, very special one. This is actually Lotus's 70th birthday present to themselves. So this car originally was Lotus's press car. It's a one-off, the only one in the world, in the famous Type 49 colours to celebrate Graham Hill's victory, in fact the last of his 3 victories that gave him the Triple Crown. It is a very special car. It's been driven by some very famous people. Chris Harris described this car as one of the best sounding cars he'd ever driven. And it belongs to a very good friend of mine, Paul, who invited me along today to drive it. And I must say, it is a very, very special thing. It's special to look at, but I've only driven it for a brief time. We're going to go out and explore it and experience it very shortly. But it's an incredible thing. So let's just take a look around the details of this car. And it's really, really cool. Very beautiful, in fact. Now, what makes this car really special is what lies beneath this beautiful carbon fiber deck and gigantic rear wing. So in here we've got a Toyota engine, a 3.5 litre V6 with a supercharger, and it's a charge-cooled supercharger, and that produces 430 horsepower. And that's in a car that weighs just a little bit more than one of my trainers. So the 0 to 60 time of this car, now bearing in mind it's driven through a 6-speed manual gearbox, you would need to be a complete hero to do this, is 3.2 seconds. And the centrally mounted exhaust sounds absolutely sensational as well. So yeah, a very special car. Let's have a look on the inside though. Now, getting in one of these elegantly, that wasn't too bad actually. Takes a bit of practice. It's a pretty snug cabin. I think by now you guys know I've got very long legs and this seat is as far back as possible, but actually I was surprised at how much room. But it is a very Lotus cabin in here, very stripped back. These massive carbon fiber sills are just incredible. That's the bit that takes the practice getting into them. But there's a very minimal dashboard in here. Up front, it's so driver oriented. Rev counter, odometer, that's it. There's some temperature controls there. There's a few controls here that have important buttons like sport and race. But the thing that for me dominates this cabin is this open gated 6-speed manual shifter. It is just fantastic. You can see the linkage working there. It's just beautiful. And when you go out on the road driving, the gate and the throw is just so precise. It's stunning, absolutely stunning. But this car is all about driving. It's all about the noise. And actually one of the most impressive things in the short run I've had to get here, it's the throttle response that is just incredible. And then shortly after the throttle response, you get this wail of the V6. It's mind-blowing. So I'm going to stick some cameras up and we're going to take it on a little short route round here, because this car park isn't the best for filming, but it's the best I could do. So let's get some cameras set up and go for a drive. Yes, getting in this car is a little bit more difficult than you'd think. Look, you've got leaves in here, mate. So YouTube, this is Paul. Say hello to YouTube, Paul. Now you will recognise Paul from Peddler's Rides. Because, the worst Peddler's Rides. Because we're here today. In fact, you'll recognise this car from Peddler's Rides, and we'll recognise a car that we're going to drive later on today from Peddler's Rides. When you get an email from someone saying, would you like to come and drive a one-off Type 49 Lotus and a McLaren 675 LT, you kind of say yes.
Did I say that?
Kind of. So, there we go. That's very antisocial. So mate, first of all, tell me about this car in terms of when you got it and stuff, because it's a super special car.
Yeah, so this was made for, Lotus made this for his 70th birthday, and also to celebrate Graham Hill's iconic Formula 1 victory at Monaco.
Yeah.
I had a 350 Sport at the time.
Yeah.
And I heard of this car coming up for sale, and I contacted Lotus and said, I want to buy it.
Yeah.
A friend of mine actually told me it was coming up for sale, and I just basically said, how much is it, and said yes, because this car had run up the hill at Goodwood at the 2018 Festival of Speed. I'd seen it running up the hill, and I just love the colour combination.
This is such an iconic gold livery.
Yeah,
There's the gold leaf
livery
colours.
which
Before tobacco advertising was cancelled and banned.
this was the first, the Type 49 Lotus was the first Formula 1 car to ever have sponsorship on it at all.
Really?
So
I didn't
yeah,
know that.
Colin Chapman,
Yeah.
he was the first person ever to do Formula 1 sponsorship, and the Type 49 was the first car ever to have it. So this is the first sponsorship livery of any Formula 1 car.
Wow. And then, I mean, the Lotus obviously got something about very cool tobacco advertising, because they had the gold
Yeah.
leaf, and then obviously they went on to John Player Special.
Probably paid a lot.
Yeah, well, yeah, this is very true. I mean, I remember actually when tobacco advertising was banned, people were like, how is Formula 1 going to carry on running? Because
Yeah.
there's no other brand's got the money to put that kind of investment in. So straight away, off the bat, this car is a very menacing car from that rumble behind.
Yeah.
The throttle response is, well, unbelievable. It feels quite wide too, so I'm just going to let
It's
this...
actually quite narrow, but
Yeah.
it's actually an Elise at the front.
Yeah.
So it's the width of an Elise, and then it's just a bit wider
I
at the
don't,
back.
I don't want to bend. I don't want to
No.
bend your alloys or the side of the car. So.
And for you, luckily, this whole Fiat Doblo's turned off, and there's an amazing stretch of road here.
Oh, is there?
It's a mini Nürburgring for about a mile.
Really?
Yeah. So you can just, it's 60 as well, national, so you can just go for it.
Here we go. Bloody hell! That's outrageous. It's the throttle response is so sharp.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Bloody hell. I don't think I've heard a car sound that sweet before. That is amazing.
Chris Harris said, as you said in your piece to camera, it's the best sounding car he's ever driven.
It sounds like a racing car,
It does.
but it's for me, it's the throttle response. It's when you get to about 5,000 RPM, bloody hell. Wow. Oh. Mate, I'm not even in sport mode.
Oh no, you need to press the sport button.
What does that do?
Well, yeah.
That makes it even more sporty.
That makes it gives you a bit of slip, sharpens up the throttle
Oh,
response.
great. Just like...
Yeah. So you can go all the way around the roundabout and do
Yeah.
that again, because it's going to be clear.
That is
And track mode, if you go into track mode, that actually gives you no slip. That's just completely lap time based.
Yeah.
So it's trying to
and
extract
then
the
there's that,
fastest
you've got
lap
the
time.
slip control knob on the side.
That's everything off, and then you've got the variable slip control you can use as well.
I don't think we're doing that today.
No. Leave that to Chris Harris.
Yeah. Oh my god. Mate, that is sensational. Mate, that is I'm going to own up to something here. Oh no, I did my ARGS license in an Exige, but that's the only Lotus I've ever driven. I don't think this isn't going to be the last Lotus I drive. This is amazing.
drive it, I'm just giggling all the time.
I can well imagine.
And I mean, obviously you've got to change gear yourself.
Yeah.
But when you're in gear, the in-gear acceleration times are just astonishing.
Yeah.
For a manual, and the instant throttle response, loads of torque.
So while we now calm down and just take a moment. So 430 horsepower, what's the weight of the car?
It's 1,049 kilos. Or 1,500 kilos with us in it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Oi, it's you.
It's all me, it's all me.
So hold on, that's mad. That's
so it must be over 400 a ton. Yeah.
Plus 400 horsepower per ton. Wow, so it's made that. Can we turn around and do that again?
Yeah, you can turn around and do that again.
So, I'm in a car that Lotus make to celebrate their own 70th birthday is gonna be special anyway, isn't it? It's down here, right?
Yeah, it's just right here. He ran up the hill at Goodwood at the Festival of Speed in 2018.
Yeah.
And it was the 5th fastest road car up the hill, which for a Lotus with all the supercars is amazing.
This car could get you into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess we're going to play with your McLaren a little bit later, and
that'll get you into more trouble.
That's outright pace.
Yeah.
I mean, it's engaging, and I mean that gear change is just fantastic, isn't it?
This is
not
more
only does it
tactile.
look lovely.
Yeah.
I love the wooden gear knob as well. You just want to play with it. It's like a Carrera GT.
And it's warm to the touch, which is nice when you drive it in the winter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it's got Cup 2s on it.
It's got Michelin Cup 2s on it, which
Yeah.
are actually they're fine. I mean, even in the wet, they're not too bad.
Yeah.
But they're like balloon tyres. That's what I like about them as well. Aesthetically, they've got quite a high sidewall.
Yeah.
So they actually look really motorsport rather than sort of little skinny thin tyres. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. Brace
Ready?
yourselves.
That's not going to come across on camera at all. How sharp that throttle is.
Yeah, it is.
It must have such light internals to get that, because it revs up so fast.
It's one of the drawbacks of the car is it actually runs out of revs very quickly.
Yeah.
So you're constantly changing gear.
Which isn't a bad thing with a gearbox like that. It's good at overtaking.
Doesn't take long.
It has a really nice feeling. It's got quite a firm ride, but it rides the bumps really nicely.
Yeah, it's quite supple.
It doesn't get upset by the imperfections you often get in our roads. And the brakes are sensational, they're really good. It's the little squirts that you can do. You come out of a corner, and you know, on a public road in a car that's not yours, you kind of have to be respectful and so on, but you can still enjoy that acceleration out of a corner without breaking the speed limit, without going too fast. It's an engaging driver's car, and I think it's one of those cars when you get in a car and you feel that it's one of those cars that the more seat time, the more you get to understand it, that you kind of develop your technique to get the most out of the car. I love cars like that. I hate cars we get in and it's too easy to drive.
Yeah, this is definitely a car you get to learn the more you have it, and I think most people own them long term because they just get to know the cars better and better.
Yeah.
And learn more about it, and it becomes a challenge. It becomes exciting. It's not like a lot of other supercars where you get in and they're very, very easy to drive.
Yeah.
And you can just drive them fast straight away. This does take a little bit of getting used to, and then once you do, it's actually more rewarding.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you get something back.
And I think that's the down this down here, isn't it? Yeah. That's what you want out of a car. You want a car that you need to to think about when you drive it, and I can imagine this thing on a track must be sensational.
Yeah, I'm doing that on Friday, so
You'll have to report back to me.
I will do.
No power assistance in the steering, but actually the only time you notice that is when you're manoeuvring. You don't, once you're out and about going, it doesn't, it's actually got a really nice weight to it. I'm just going to go down there once more.
That's fine.
You're never ever going to get bored of that, are you? Never. What's really impressive actually is it's rear wheel drive, it's lightweight, it's huge amounts of power, but you can put your foot down on the throttle with a lot of confidence. It doesn't feel like it's the kind of car that's going to snap or get upset at the back.
It doesn't. You've got to provoke it. You've got to be turning, and you've got to really provoke it to get any sort of real speed.
Yeah.
And when you do, it's very predictable. It's never. You'll have to be coming out of a 90-degree junction, give it a bit of welly, and it'll just slide a bit progressively.
Yeah.
But you'll always be in control.
That's good to know. It's really good to know. Especially when it's not my car.
Yeah.
Well, mate, I'm going to draw this video to a close because it's just an incredible car. Thank you very much for letting us share it with everybody. I mean, we saw it on Peddler's Rides, and there's lots of comments about, oh my god, that Lotus is pretty special. So to be able to finally meet up and hear it, it's the auditory pleasure, the driving engagement is just properly impressive. You're a lucky man.
Well, thanks.
But let's head back to your house.
Yeah.
And go and raid the keys cupboard and get the key to one of your other cars.
Next.
Oh man. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed that one. If you have done so, please give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol. Plenty more content to come. And I'll see you on the next film, guys. But you take care. Stay safe, drive safe, be safe. In a car like this, you need to know what to bring up.